Hey, it's Vas here from Metro Hobbies and welcome to another unboxing. Today we are going to be looking at the new Arrma Vendetta. It's a new release from Arrma. It's a speed demon and it looks very cool. So let's have a closer look at it. Okay, so first things first, let's have a look at what you actually get in a box when you get one of these. Of course, you get the car fully assembled and ready to go. You have your radio and you get a couple of accessories and a manual and all that. Now, one of the accessories is a optional rear spoiler. Now, this is a flatter spoiler than the original one, the stock one that comes with the car. This is designed for more your speed runs. That's designed for a little bit more grip. However, you will notice that this guy here has a bit of flex to it. And what I've heard is that some of the owners of these cars that want to do some high-speed running, they actually bolt the spoiler down to the body to stop that flex from happening, especially if you're doing some really high-speed stuff. It can actually damage the spoiler at high speed, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, that's the optional spoiler that you get for the high-speed runs. In here, you get some tools, you get the manual, and you get an optional pinion gear. And I'll show you these very, very quickly. There is a spare 26-tooth pinion in here. This is what's going to allow you to reach the 70+ miles an hour as printed on the box. There's also a couple of Allen keys and this little pistol-looking tool thing that, is obviously designed for wheel nuts and all sorts of other little pieces in there. And then the manual itself is, as always, by Arrma, very comprehensive. There's actually two sheets here that I can see. You have a bit of a quick exploded view type of manual, which is this one, which is upside down. So there's that guy there. And then here you have some quick sort of manual tips on how to mesh your gears, how to remove the center drive shaft and remove the actual power system like the motor and so forth. So really cool to have that. And then in here, there's some more information regarding the ESC, how to work the radio, how to set everything up, maintenance schedules, safety precautions, all of that is in this booklet as well, which is written in a few different languages, hence why it's actually quite thick. So that's pretty much everything that you get in the box. Now, the radio itself is the DX3, which is a very nice radio. I've actually showcased this radio on the channel before with some of the other releases that we have from Arrma as well. This actually has some LED lights here down the side that actually gives you a voltage reading of how much battery you have left in the car. Now that is of course provided you are using Spektrum batteries because as you can see there are no batteries included with this. You are going to need to get your own batteries and charger. But if you use Spektrum batteries you can get a little readout here. Otherwise I don't think the stock batteries like any other battery will actually give you that. Very nice comfortable foam wheel on there. You got a third channel switch just here, a little toggle switch. This can be used to actually adjust endpoints in your steering, and you can probably even use it to adjust throttle endpoints as well. Speaking of which, there is a 3-position switch here for your throttle endpoints. You have a 50%, a 75%, and of course 100%. You have the two top switches here, which are your reverse switches for your channels. So you have throttle and steering reverse switches. Then down the side, there's a whole bunch of little knobs. The first one here is the AVC knob. This is for stability. So the car comes with AVC as standard, which is a traction and stability control system. This allows you to kind of drive the car a little bit more aggressively whilst the car does a little bit of work for you to stop you from spinning out and steering all sorts of crazy. You can adjust the sensitivity of that with this little knob here. It's a really cool feature. Some people like to have it off. Some people like to have a little bit of an input. Other people like to have heaps of it on to help them out. Then you have brake strength, which actually comes in pretty handy so you don't lock up your wheels if you are going really fast, anchoring the brakes and the thing's locking up and slipping and sliding everywhere. You can tune that down if you wish. Then you got steering trim and of course throttle trim, which in most cases you don't really touch throttle trim on electric cars. And that pretty much wraps up this radio. No collapsible antennas or anything like that to break off. Runs on 4 AA's. Cool little handset to be included in a car like this. Okay, so now for the main event, which is of course the car itself. Now this car does have a little bit of a unique look. It has cutouts on top of the tires here for air ventilation. It's got a really sort of thick shark fin running right through the middle. And of course you have these massive sidewalls for the rear spoiler on there at the back. The rear diffuser is actually very nicely detailed as well, as you can see. It's a really, really nice car. It also comes with belted tires for high speed, which means that they're not going to balloon on you or anything like that. There are two color schemes with these bodies. You have the green one here, which is really nice and easy to see. And you have, of course, the darker bluer one, both of which have this really nice, intricate sort of swirly pattern. And if you look closely, it's actually the Arrma logo that's been sort of stretched and manipulated kind of over the car, and it looks really, really cool. You can see all these like little Easter eggs that are going on with the Arrma logo on these designs. So the car has really been designed with aerodynamics in mind. The body itself isn't really resembling any sort of real life body, but you could sort of pull it back to maybe some Le Mans cars or something along those lines, where they have these sorts of cutouts above the wheels to allow for air ventilation and stop turbulent air being caught up inside the body. So this is why the car is what it is. It's designed to go this fast on a 3S. To be able to reach 70 miles an hour on a 3S LiPo battery is pretty amazing. And Arrma obviously did a bit of homework here in making sure that the car could actually achieve that, which of course aerodynamics play a big part in achieving those speeds. It's not just about making, dumping more power in it. It would have been very easy for them to put a 6S system in here and achieve that speed with, I don't know, a box body of some sort, but doing it this way I think is a little bit slicker. So the body is an acquired taste. Some people will like it, some people will hate it, but if you want to go fast and you want something that's going to be glued to the ground, this, I think is going to do a very good job of that. So body comes off with, of course, 4 body pins, which are tethered with these little rubber tethers that have been, Arrma's had these now for a number of years. I will warn though, never use the tethers to pull the pins out of the body posts. They are not designed for that. Even though they do give you little grip tabs on there, if you use that to pull the pin out, chances are you're going to rip the tether, and then it won't, you'll need to get some new ones. So always try and grab the body pin when removing it from the body posts. That's the body there, and of course it's just silver underneath, so very simple underneath. It also has the little protective little stickers that they put on the inside of these bodies to stop the paint from rubbing out. So, and it's actually quite thick. It's not a flimsy body by any means, so it should hold its shape quite well at high speeds, which is something that you definitely want to do. Because when you're going that fast, you don't want the body to suddenly change shape and the aerodynamics go out the window. So there is the car itself. Now, if you've got or seen any of these 3S cars in the past, this is going to be a very familiar sight to you. Pretty much everything that you see here is on the other 3S cars. This shares the same chassis as the Senton and as the 4S Kraton, which we're hoping will come back into production at some time soon. But as you'll notice, there is no tower-to-tower brace on this car, so they've left that out. But as you can see, the electrics are very much the same as on the other 3S cars. We got a 3660, 3900 kV brushless motor there. We have our ESC, which I forgot to see how big it is, but I think it's a 120 amp. And then, of course, you've got your steering servo up the front with the receiver box just tucked away in there as well. There is a guard inside here as well to protect, dirt and stones and stuff from getting inside the chassis, which is a really cool thing. And then, of course, you've got a little fan on top of the motor there. It is running IC5 connectors. Now, these are compatible with EC5 as well. So if you have a battery that runs those big blue connectors, it'll plug straight in. The IC5 just has the extra cable running through the middle between these two wires, which is, of course, designed for those Spectrum batteries so that you get that voltage telemetry back to your radio. I personally really like what Arrma have done with the front and rear end of these cars. So the front end of it has this nice thick foam bumper on there, but the way that they've engineered the little kick up underneath and the way the body posts are done and everything, it just feels really nice and solid. It doesn't feel like it's just been tacked on there. They've engineered it and designed it really, really well. And the same goes for the back. Like the whole splitter and everything just feels nice and solid. Everything's bolted in. You can see these two massive bolts just holding everything together there. It just looks really, really cool. Now, if you don't like this body, I believe that Proline do have a new Mustang body that's coming out. So these adjustable body posts will no doubt come in handy for you to adjust the height of the body post to suit that Mustang body when that is eventually released. And then, of course, you've got a really nice car with belted wheels and belted tires rather. You can reach some incredible speeds with a nice little Mustang body if you're a bit of a Mustang fan. Hopefully they'll bring more bodies out in the future for those of you who prefer the GM bodies, I suppose. So that pretty much wraps everything up in a nice little bow. That is the Arrma Vendetta, a very nice aerodynamically designed car to go super fast with already supplied belted tires with a really good quality radio as well. They're a fantastic car, which a lot of people seem to be getting their hands on at the moment. Okay, so that's it for this unboxing of the Arrma Vendetta. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button before you go. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, check out the video description down below. We'll have links to the cars as well as links to batteries and chargers so that you can get everything at the same time when you purchase one of these. That is it for me. Thank you again, and I'll speak to you all next time.
Yeah, feel free to go again.
That's in the bloopers reel for sure.